since you were a guest already, then we'll kind of catch up with you a bit, talk about some Taco Gate, um, some other current events that are freaking hilarious. There's all kinds of crazy stuff going on right now.
There's Yanni or Yanni. That's about
Yanni,
the last I heard. Something like that, depending on what you're hearing.
Is it blue or is it yellow?
Yeah. Current events.
Yeah, that's as far as Ira
Topical.
goes.
I'm a tropical guy.
I was gonna say that's been a while. Yeah, that's been a while. Like
yesterday, right?
What was that? Like people would look at a color, and some people would see a different color,
and they'd say it was the color of Yanni or Laurel.
Oh yeah, the Yanni or Laurel, like what you would hear, like
color of Laurel.
It was an audio thing.
That's a color. He's getting this wrong, Robbie. You got to help me out
here. Yeah, it's like Yanni, Laurel,
Yanni. Right. I remember that, but then there was also something where
I'm trying to be funny. It's not working.
There was something similar where it was colors.
No, it was a dress of a award show or something.
Yeah.
I have so much useless pop culture trivia in here. It's ridiculous. I couldn't tell you who wore the dress. I'm proud to say that.
Yeah, I have no idea. Say Kim Kardashian.
I'm like Brian when he says something and says, "Oh yeah," or someone told me that once.
Man, what did Brian? I was listening today. Maybe it was today's episode. Maybe it was yesterday. But there was something that Brian had no idea about. Maybe you don't know either. The whole
if it's political,
the pedo Pete comment.
Oh, yeah. I heard something related to
like
that.
Ball was just like, "What are you talking about?" It's like, oh, okay.
Oh, that's right.
It's like I don't judge people for not knowing some of those things, but like if you haven't heard of that, then it's like
don't speak to it.
Well, no, it's kind of like it kind of helps me understand like at what level are you paying attention to what's going on. Or like where are you paying attention? I guess
exactly. Well, obviously movies. I mean, that's all he spends his time doing. I'm sure he doesn't.
Well, we might get into it later, but I think it's that's what Hunter Biden had his dad's phone number in his contacts as pedo.
I saw that.
Wow.
Or I heard that rather.
Yeah.
Oh, that's some good stuff. Man, that's crazy. That is just it's so crazy. Like that whole thing is so crazy that it's hard to
fathom.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I can almost understand why the major networks don't cover it because it's just so crazy. It's like anyway. But yeah, hey everybody. Oh yeah, don't forget to record the audio, says Mole Man. All right.
Oh, right.
Appreciate that. That's
good.
Is
Mole Man with us or
no?
He can't today.
AIDS.
Full blown.
AIDS.
Chop down the middle of his life.
Oh man.
By the full blown AIDS. No.
That's not.
No, he's AIDS free.
My grandfather died from what?
Yeah, he's AIDS free.
His name was
got a cleaner
Mercury. You might have heard of him, fucker.
Oh, really? You wish, buddy. You wish you wouldn't be sitting here with us.
Remind me to tell you my Dennis Rodman story. I don't think I got to tell that. Did I?
Oh,
Robbie, did you listen to my whole thing earlier or no?
No.
First half.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
It was Beastie Boys bashing, mostly where I left off. I was trying to talk freaking Jaden into liking Beastie Boys.
Oh, okay.
Remember that? He just shat on me. Remember that after the 80,000 podcasts you've done, Chris?
Vaguely, man. No, I'll tell you what. The one thing I remember about your episode was the next morning, that's when my daughter collapsed in the seizure.
That's right.
And she just like turned blue in my arms. It was like, oh my God, it was the most traumatic thing I've ever experienced.
How old was she? What was her age
happened again?
at the time?
It was what, 2 or 3 at the time?
Oh man.
Or save this for the pod. This is a great story.
I don't want to relive it or anything because it was crazy, but yeah, that's what I remember the most. And then I remember the next morning you were texting me like, what do you think, dude? When do you think it's going to be out? And I was like in the emergency room. Like, I'll get back to you. I'll get back to you later.
No, you prick. First you talk me into. No.
That's what I remember. Yeah, it was crazy.
I'm sorry, Jesus.
Oh, it's okay.
That's terrible. Somehow it's my fault.
Well, yeah.
Everything is.
No, I don't know. So like what we talked about. I'm sure we talked a lot about music and well, we went. It was early days, so we were going through the whole. How did you become an Adam Carolla fan? So, well, anyway,
which I can read.
Yeah,
Is
well,
it?
I was just gonna say we can skip that part tonight,
Oh,
but we'll talk a
whatever.
little about Adam Carolla. You've been listening to him lately. I've been listening to him lately, and so we'll see.
You haven't listened to him lately?
I have been, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Not as much, just because my schedule, but yeah.
Oh,
But anyway, we can get started. Let me hit record before I forget about that. Okay, well, if you guys are ready, we'll get it started, and we'll get it rolling.
roll
Yeah.
it.
All right. Oh, Robbie, you got all your posts done and all that stuff?
Yeah. I'm just doing a Instagram one, but that can, I can work on it while you introduce everybody. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So Bald, yeah, he hadn't heard of that. I remember one time, like, not to get political or anything, but he was unaware. Like, Adam mentioned that there's been an effort to like get Fox News taken off the air, like a serious effort, like trying to get them like in trouble with the FCC and like do all, like there's been an effort for a long time. And he like it came up one day and he just never even realized, he never knew that. So it's like there's like organizations out there that just all they do is monitor Fox News and try to get them in trouble. I don't really care. Don't watch cable news, but just
Right.
seemed like something you should be aware of if you want to comment on media. I don't know, or the state of news media, cable TV news, whatever.
I feel like I'm being attacked.
Why? Oh, you have no idea this stuff either. Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I know I don't. But I'm not commenting on it, and I have a public forum. Oh, here we are.
You know what? Something that I might want to ask you about. Again, Chris is more of a Twitter guy than I am, but I don't know where I saw this, but maybe a week ago, some people were bringing back how Anne Frank had white privilege. Have you guys heard that? Yes, I know.
It sounds vaguely familiar, but I'm not sure I have heard of that, but I'm
man, it
not surprised by it.
Angers me. But anyways, I would like to kind of know people's thoughts, especially people that are Jewish or family of Jewish people. It's like, dude, really. I mean, I skimmed through stuff because I thought this is just ridiculous. Yeah, it's ridiculous. But anyways, we're good to go.
Yeah, I don't know where all that stuff comes from, really. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, all right. So 3, 2, 1. Good evening, Endless Ranters. Welcome back for episode 112 of your Endless Ranters podcast. Thanks for watching, listening, and subscribing. We truly appreciate the support. My name is Chris, and I'm one of your hosts for this evening. I'm joined by the one and only Robbie Spotlight. What up, Robbie?
What up, homies?
What up to you, my homie? And Manny, speaking of homies, Manny's out tonight. He's got tickets or he's got something. He's in the chat, but he's got better plans than talking to us.
Taco poisoning or something like
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's being reclassified. He's getting his But don't fear because Ira is here. Welcome back, my friend. How you doing, Ira?
Thank you. I'm doing well, gentlemen. How are you guys doing? I don't know if I'm a sufficient replacement for Manny, but I'll do my best.
Well, sure you are. Sure you are.
Yeah.
Sure. So Ira's a repeat guest. He first joined us back in February of 2019 for episode number 18. 18, almost 100 episodes ago.
Double digits.
Wow. I know, buddy. 2019. Wow, it's been over 3 years. So,
oh my goodness, you're multiplying before our very eyes.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Oh, she couldn't. I didn't have the camera on the screen. Anyway, my daughter. It's bedtime, so right about when we start the podcast, it's bedtime for my girls. So one of them likes to peek in. But yeah, you're a repeat guest from several years back. So when you came on the first time, we went through your Adam Carolla origin story and all of that, and so we're just not interested in that at all anymore. No, we'll cover a little bit about that.
I don't think you ever were.
Huh?
I don't think you ever were interested in that. So
don't you come on here with that kind of attitude.
Fiery.
No,
Fiery.
we were. We're not now. We were back then. No. So we'll talk about some Adam Carolla stuff, but we did all that way back, and you told how you started listening to Adam way back, and we'll get a little bit more of your history. But I don't know. A question for you, Robbie. Do you want to get into catching up with Ira and see what's going on with him, or do you want to get into we have this job of we're going to go over the list of all famous Hispanic Americans, and
we can catch up.
Decide what kind of breakfast taco they are.
That's right. Well, look, right now, for those of you watching on YouTube, I'm actually eating it's a burrito or taco bowl.
Oh, no.
Of course, I'm not going to be munching while I'm camera, but, just like our former President Trump, he said, I love the Mexicans, and our Dr. Jill Biden. Hey, young lady, we're just paying homage and paying to our presidential people out there.
Well, you're not eating a breakfast taco, so you're getting a little bit too unique for their liking, for the Biden's liking.
We don't know much about breakfast tacos. I don't know if that's like a Houston thing. I don't. You're not in Houston.
Wasn't. I mean, I've had a few. Okay, so so Ira was telling us beforehand that he's totally checked out of society and he doesn't pay attention to the news at all. And those are my words.
Oh no! Please continue. You're speaking wonderfully for me.
So so there was some kind of luncheon Monday maybe in San Antonio, and it was called I want to wait for Rob to get back for this because it's so special. Here he is. That luncheon that they did on Monday where Dr. Jill Biden spoke.
Yes, don't forget
to like 7 people. It was called the Latino, but it was spelled with an X on the. I don't like to say it.
Yeah, he doesn't.
I feel like that's their trick. That's their trick is like, getting people to repeat these ridiculous things. Yeah. And then it was the Latino, but with an X, inclusion, but they even replaced one of the letters in the word inclusion with an X.
Man,
so it's like inclusion.
It makes me want to sing the X-Men theme song, da-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na, from the 90s cartoon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, and she said something. I mean, she made it wasn't really, I don't really think it was that terrible, but it was just funny because she said something to the effect of like, the Latino community is as diverse as breakfast tacos in San Antonio or something.
Yeah.
Just a weird, like really patronizing, really trivializing way to try to compliment people. Mm-hmm. I don't really think she meant anything bad by it. I mean, I think she was really down there preaching to the choir, preaching to like progressive Latino groups.
I'm just thinking of the moment where she formed that thought, right? Was she eating breakfast? Did she have a taco? Was she looking at the taco, trying to form her speech, going, And was it a few bites in, maybe? Until she realized, this is common. This is, everyone knows what I'm talking about. This is standard. I'm going to use this. Not offensive. Everyone eats this.
Maybe we're being unfair. Maybe she had an incredible breakfast. And
lots of great places in Texas.
Maybe she had 3 different breakfast tacos on her way to this speech.
A variety of them.
Yeah.
Well, and she was just so impressed by the variety and the different flavor
variety of
profiles.
Tacos. They weren't your regular breakfast tacos.
She's like, wow, this is exactly like this group of people.
It represents this. This one's it's representative of everybody.
Well, it's
the flavors in my mouth.
Yeah, she's not going to write these things, but she's going to read them. But that's
just
I'm not sure if that makes it worse. That makes it worse that like a group of people was just like, let's compare them to tacos.
Well, Chris raises a good point because she's reading the teleprompter or whatever she has in front of her, on her podium, and just like Joe Biden, President Biden was reading his speech a few days ago, and then at the end of it he goes, end of quote, repeat sentence. And then
repeat the line.
Repeat the line. Yeah. So he was reading basically what was in front of him. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, dude, I don't think
things are getting
like he turns into Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah, things are getting really weird because he'll say things in speeches, and then when they like for history, right? For history, when you go back and you're like, let's look at the presidential record of what did the president say on June 25th, 2022. When they actually, file that in the record, they clean it all up. Right, they get rid of all the ums and the shinnamanamana and all the misspoken words.
The
and
shamalama ding dongs. Sure,
they'll fix it and they'll add they'll touch it up a little bit so it doesn't look like he's a blithering idiot. I mean, sorry,
so
it's terrible, but
I will say this: if I can play the kind of the fair card and stuff, actually not. If I can kind of defend the other side. This is pretty much what happened with Mitt Romney, wasn't it? Remember when he read or he was talking about how, I have a binder full of women. and so okay.
Jeez.
So, yeah,
you didn't warn me you're talking
really
about all this,
though. But he really meant it, though, Rob.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's like, with that movie,
even if he doesn't,
Creepers.
Even if he wasn't talking about, and he was actually talking about, qualified female candidates for important government jobs. Even if he does, he still has a binder full of women. So,
he's American Psycho there.
Yeah. But no, it's but just think about that. Think about that. You have a political leader, highest in the country, says things, but when they enter it into the official record, they change it. They revise what he said.
Oh, well, they cut out all the F-bombs Lincoln, was throwing down in his
what are you talking about?
Man, he's fuck this, fuck that. You're like, strike that.
Whoa. You said this with such confidence. I was like, oh, I haven't seen this documentary yet.
Oh, no. Everyone knows.
Oh, everybody knows that? Yeah.
Apparently you've checked out from society.
Yeah, I was.
Right, Robbie? Are you with me on this?
Oh, yeah.
All the F-bombs Lincoln through.
I read the whitewashed history of the Gettysburg Address without all the F-bombs.
Yeah, what about her story? Not history, her story. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh,
it's just amazing. Literally,
that's brilliant.
They I guess maybe they always have done that. They just touch up the public record. So
we don't know what they truly said.
It's true.
Until they started recording things.
It's true. Well,
plenty of history showing what Biden, did just by the video alone. It won't be the transcripts won't be enough at that point. There'll be plenty of evidence.
One of my favorite things is just watching white liberals reclassify people, a group of people right in front of their very eyes.
Yeah.
Like, no, we don't like your name. We want to call you something different now. Yeah. No, we don't need your input. No. We're just going to call you something different. So we'd appreciate it if when you have events, you just start putting random X's and words and, start playing along. And some groups do, and then people repeat it. I think it's crazy. It's like something like 3% of Hispanics that are polled use that term.
Yeah, something like
40% have actually responded saying, if you use that term, I will hold it against you when I vote. Pisses people off.
Yeah.
But they keep doing they keep doing it though. It's really strange, man. It's really, really strange. Really strange.
Yeah, he's set in his ways.
Well, you just think of how all the different words we've had for black folks over the years, over decades. And it's like, man, I guess I was always under the assumption that that was a preferred name, maybe that black folks preferred or whatever. But now I'm like, I wonder if white people were changing this every decade or so, changing from blacks to African Americans to Afro American, all that kind of stuff.
You can track it through films,
weird. Yeah, probably. You just assume that the group that you're talking about decides for themselves. I guess not.
What's acceptable and what isn't.
I don't know, man. I don't know. So Robbie, I think of you as I don't know, scrambled eggs and bacon with a flour tortilla. That's just the classic breakfast burrito that I love. You know what I mean? So
flour. It has to be flour.
Yeah.
So you love Robbie.
That's right. I do.
Tying the Kevin
That's right.
Bacon.
That's
6
right.
degrees or whatever it is.
Classic. He's a
just
classic.
Tied that together pretty quickly there. Some undertones.
I am pretty delicious.
He's a classic American taco.
Yeah.
Classic American breakfast taco. Might put a little hot sauce on there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like those little mini packets that they give you at Jack in the Box.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Salsa sauce.
Salsa sauce.
Many sauces.
Yeah.
It's all about the sauce, really, when it comes down to it.
So let's get on with the rest of all the other famous Hispanic Americans, Robbie.
Hey, well, there's a very popular someone, well, not that popular anymore, but he does his rounds. John Leguizamo. He's a comedian.
Sure.
And
Yeah. What kind is he?
He's what is it? He's Puerto Rican, I think. He does his kind of political comedy and comedy, and he does one-man shows, right? Yeah, but I don't know. He's like, I don't know if there's Puerto Rican tacos out there, like with arroz con gandules. That's rice with.
I think I just had a seizure. What happened?
Taco con
I hit the translator button.
Yeah.
Boy, oh shit! What did I do?
Yeah, so I don't know what kind of taco he would be, or burrito.
All right. How about all right? Next, Salma Hayek.
Ooh. That's like the hottest taco out.
It's got to be the most delicious taco ever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next is
with cheese.
Beto O'Rourke.
Oh, one of my top Latinos out there. Beto O'Rourke.
He's the potatoes. Potatoes and a corn tortilla. Kind of breakfast taco. Yeah.
What about Sofia Vergara?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Chorizo, maybe.
Chorizo, yeah, because she loves the chorizo. I think she loves chorizo.
I never should have turned her down.
I don't know why you said it like that.
Hey, look, she won't watch interviews with her. She loves to like play the whole, hot spice. Like she just plays it. That's her, and she wants to be her.
At least she does the accent all the time.
Oh, always.
Because what tricks me up is when there's like a female Hispanic reporter, and she's like just speaking regularly, and then all of a sudden she'll be like tortilla.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or you watching like some white lady on the cooking channel. She's just talking regular, and all of a sudden it's like spaghetti. Spaghetti. Like, okay.
I've
you're not
mentioned
from
this,
the old country.
I've mentioned this before. If you look up Sofia Vergara and Ellen on the Ellen show, there's clips of how many times Ellen's been mean to Sofia, and she's been kind of borderline kind of racist, and just kind of made fun of her and called her dumb and all that stuff. But Sofia likes to kind of do the whole kind of dumb blonde thing, but she's not really blonde.
Yeah, I mean, she really like adds like some percentage, 20% to the accent.
She does. Oh, dude, if
Charo, was that
there? Boom. I was about to say
Boat.
She's a modern day Charo.
Yeah, like really throws. Yeah.
She's that. How's Adam put it? The drag queen that tries too hard to be a woman. Or what was that whole parallel that he used to talk about? Pamela Anderson was a female drag queen. Oh gosh,
something
he used to talk about it back a long time ago.
Yeah, I forget what it was.
But
he had a couple twists on that. Yeah. So yeah, all right. So are we done with the taco business? Taco Gate, as they called it. It really is kind of like a harmless, just stupid thing to say, but it is. I don't know.
Well, depends on how you see the breakfast taco, because I feel in my world one of the most nutritious deals of the day, because I eat out for the other meals too often, unhealthy food. So if I can make myself put together, this is very great pot, I'm sure.
Yeah, Robbie he just quit.
I saw that he just dropped right off. So I'll continue. No, I do. I like to make, and you never asked me my breakfast taco, which I'll share now with you. Thank you for asking.
You're not Hispanic, so.
Oh, you don't know that?
Can't be.
My name is Ira Schwartz. Just quit jumping to conclusions. Look at you.
That's
All
true.
right,
That's
I'm putting
true.
you in a bucket now, sir.
That's true.
I enjoy a couple eggs. Like to saute some mushrooms. Just sliced up a mushroom real quick. A little bit of onion, just tiny bit.
Yeah, mushrooms.
Throw it in there. Some cheese. Slap it in the flour tortilla. Throw it in the aluminum foil. It's good for hours. Get hungry a couple hours later. Eat it at work.
Yeah.
Boom. I've solved the world's problems.
I do like some sauteed mushrooms with eggs
fantastic.
sometimes. Yeah, it's good. Add a little bite to it.
And very good for you.
Yeah.
Very, very good and nutritious.
Robbie's back after
Hi, Robbie.
A minute of
trying to
difficulties.
Mug too much for the camera.
Also, Ira was telling us about his Latino heritage.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
My extensive Latino heritage. Oh, absolutely. I really don't appreciate either one of you jumping to conclusions with my name being Ira Schwartz, with the middle name of Menachem. Okay.
Oh shoot!
So
you hit us
excuse
with
me?
the Menachem.
Okay. I thought that was a little bit of counter activity.
No, I
towards
said,
what
oh shoot. I said, I didn't say, oh Jew. I said, oh shoot. You know.
Excuse me. Oh.
I was one of those Spanish Jews.
Yeah. Well, you know, the word
there used to be like that. It's really like the history of like the Jewish people in Spain and like where they've been kicked out of and like the harm people did to their own societies by doing that, like kicking out all your bankers, your artisans, like your.
Thank you.
Like your.
I've been so oppressed my entire fucking life. Nobody's seeing it, but you guys. This moment.
Hey, Ira, can I tell you the word Ira in Spanish? But it's ira.
It's pronounced ira.
Ira, right? Do you know what it means? Ira.
Oh boy.
It means
I'm gonna someone.
No, be very annoying. Yeah, no, I'm just kidding. So it means
irritating. Gotcha.
Well,
Go on.
It means wrath, like anger, wrath.
Oh, ira.
Yeah,
ooh, wow.
Ira in Spanish.
Okay.
Yeah,
the wrath of Ida.
Yeah.
Well, is that repetitive?
I think repetitive. Yeah, but
it's the Ira of Ira.
If you have a book or something, you should do a record, The Wrath of Ida. Yeah.
This is very existential and going off in a very different direction. You should just start calling
yourself Wrath. You can, if you move to Mexico, you could call yourself Wrath.
DJ Wrath, maybe. I don't know.
Well, speaking of DJ, cool. I think it was Monkey's uncle who wanted to know your thoughts on Adam. What Adam thinks about DJs, because you've got DJing experience, right?
Yes, I do. I'm more or less what they call retired, or I did DJ for many years, but haven't also for many years.
Oh, okay. Let me kind of dive down a little deep on your DJ.
He's not giving himself enough credit.
Yeah. Tell us, like, brag about yourself. When did you start DJing? How did you start DJing? Did you do parties? Did you do clubs? Did you do private events? You might have talked about this in the previous episode.
Bar mitzvahs.
Every event, darling.
Quinceañeras.
I did one. I didn't do it well. I'm not very familiar with the music, but yeah. Well, I loved music. I was able to fall into a job as a DJ at an all-age nightclub in Reno, where I grew up when I was 18. Fell in with this crowd and was DJ. It was all underground alternative music. We had alternate nights of Beat Night. It was called R&B in 1989. It was not rap. It was called Beat Night. I still have audio cassettes of the commercials we made.
Rap kind of beat, like rap battles.
Beat.
Yeah.
But we had Sir Mix-a-Lot come and perform. Actually, It was right before Baby got back. I got to meet him, which was kind of cool. Initially, because I was one of the DJs at this club, it was in Reno, Nevada, for any listener who might be aware of that. It was called the Grand Ballroom, but at this time it was called Red Square Nightclub, and Mix-a-Lot came in to perform on the Beat Night, and I was told that I was going to have to bring him on stage and introduce him, and would I like to meet him? I was like, sure. So I went backstage, met with him. It was the stereotypical, literally, rapper with the lady on either side on his lap and everything, and the just made up getting ready to go on stage. So and I went.
He was true. He was true to his love. He was true to his love for big butts.
He was. I can attest to that.
But this is before he got big, or
this is what? He had released an album called Swass with a couple hits off of it. It stood for something. Can't remember. There's an acronym for something. SWAS.
But he had achieved the level of the rank of
notoriety at that point. He was knighted, yes, by Sting and Elton John
by that time, before Baby got back.
Yes, he had knighted himself. It was kind of like Michael Jackson crowning himself king of pop. He went ahead and on all media was released as immediately Sir Mix-a-Lot. Could have been Mix-a-Lot. I don't know. I don't think it would have flown as well.
Yeah.
So I was actually a fan. Got to meet him.
Mix-a-Lot. Be good.
So from there, I moved to Vegas, and then I got to in '91 when I was 21, and got to DJ at a college bar, a very popular one that had lots of people come in regularly. It was that was before the mega clubs, before there were really any big clubs in Vegas. So a lot of folks hung out there, and 5 nights a week for 3 years. So it was a grind. at really a grind, from 10
Mhm.
p.m. to 4 a.m. usually, Tuesday through Sunday. Got to move on from there to another college bar. That's when I was able to do the Beastie Boy cover band in the mid 90s with some friends while I was DJing.
That's right. It's been I'm sure we shared that in our group way back, but you have a video of that, right?
Yeah, it's on
video.
Yeah. Well, I'll try to share it with Robbie so he can post it somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Funnily enough, one of the guys, I don't think I shared this story, that was in our original Beastie band, Brass Monkey, back in 1996 in Vegas. He was an original member of Third Eye Blind, and they kind of recorded the first album, Third Eye Blind did, and then he left the band and we created Brass Monkey, the Beastie Boy cover band, and he would tell us stories about Stephen Jenkins and what a dick he was, the lead singer of Third Eye Blind, and they got a guitarist to replace him. But my friend actually wrote those harmony lines, the do do do, those real kind of unusual. Yeah. He wrote those harmony lines, and I know because he also produced original music that I had tapes of, and that's totally Tony. It's those harmony, that unique thing that Stephen Jenkins was able to sell and pass off as his own. Yeah, that prick.
Stephen Jenkins, yeah.
Anyway, interestingly enough, we had the Beastie Boy cover band. Tony Fredinelli is his name. He was with us for a year as our MCA. Then Stephen asked him to rejoin the band. So Tony then rejoined Third Eye Blind for 10 years. Then there was a dissolution about 3-4 years ago, as there is with all of their guitarists. If you look it up, you see that every guitarist Third Eye Blind has sued Stephen Jenkins and won. So Tony and I reconnected recently. It was kind of interesting. But that was just kind of a side note. He was in our Beastie band for a while, and really, really talented musician and songwriter.
Which Beastie Boy were you?
I was the DJ. I wasn't. I did come out and rap.
Okay.
Ice Ice Baby and Rapper's Delight. Those are my songs I would come out and do. Yeah. So then I moved on to larger nightclubs at the end of the 90s and got to work at the Luxor. It was a nightclub called Raw for a year, RA, inside the Luxor Pyramid Casino.
Yeah, I remember Luxor. Yeah.
99.
Is it still up? I guess that's still up, right?
The casino still exists, but the nightclub has been changed.
No, the Luxor, because the whole, like, that hotel, the Pyramid Hotel.
Yeah. Oh, it's still there. That's all. It's. I think they're going renovation soon.
No, you're wrong. I think David Copperfield made it disappear. Maybe.
Really?
9 years
ago.
Turned
it up. I thought he turned it upside down.
Yeah. I think it was that. Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
I remember going to the Luxor.
I can't verify. I haven't been there in a minute.
Probably like
it was there when I was there.
Maybe the mid 90s. I went to the Luxor, and they had that. They had one of those. They had the first ride. I don't know if you'd call it a ride.
Oh, yeah. That's right. The indoor.
You go. It feels like you're going downstairs. All you're really doing is getting into a cabin, like a thing that moves, right? But it makes you feel like you're going downhill, like up. It's like blowing, steam or whatever.
Yeah, like basically like Star Tours.
And you're like going down. It's like you're going down into like the tombs of the pyramid or something like that.
Correct. They had that when they opened for years, and they shut those down.
Yeah, it was mind blowing because I was like, oh my God, it's crazy. And just to think that, you were just sitting in this cabin the whole time. So
Ira, Monkey's uncle wants to know, did you ever go to Ivan Kane's 40 Deuce? I'm not familiar with that, but
I'm wondering if that's a Beastie lyric, because that's the first thing that jumps into mind. At the party.
Sounds like a place maybe in Reno, or is that in
I'm not sure what he's referencing.
Okay, Monkey's uncle, we gotta clear this up.
Yeah, a little more specific. But so I got to do that for a year, got to see some great bands play at the Raw. We had 80s night. I got to see Modern English play, Loverboy.
Okay.
Blue Oyster Cult for some reason came one year. Berlin, which was really cool to get to see them in a small venue, and they all sounded amazing.
Berlin. Wow, that was back in like Top Gun days.
yeah. They had some hits before that take my breath away, but
they didn't want to do that.
The Metro.
They didn't want to do that song originally, from what I understand. And I think their agent or someone said, "Hey, we've got this song." I think that's one of the few songs, or one of the songs that they didn't write. So that I think the production or whatever writer's agent said, "Hey, can you sing the song?" And
Probably
of course,
Diane Warren, who wrote every top hit of every movie in the 90s and 80s. That was 80s though.
She was the 80s version of what's that guy? Shoot. He writes a lot of the Celine Dion songs, the Whitney Houston songs. David Foster.
Oh, David Foster. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, which, a lot of hits. Yeah.
Mariah Carey, he wrote a lot for. Did you already say that? Sorry.
No, I didn't. But yeah, David Foster, he's legendary. Yeah.
But so then after that in 99, I then was asked to go to open a club in the Venetian Hotel. At that time, it was brand new. So I got to open a brand new club, big showroom, the first largest one of its kind. And I did get to meet Run DMC and Jam Master Jay. And that was an interesting moment because so the area I was DJing in was kind of a second room, more of a chill spot. They had the giant dance floor, and I liked this kind of the second area better. I got to play whatever I wanted. It wasn't it was more unique style. I could do drum and bass and lots of electronic music and trip hop. There were a lot of beds and furniture in that second room, very low ceilings and lights projecting. It was its whole vibe. It was really cool.
Beds?
Were the floor sticky or the bed sticky?
From what I understand, that activity did take place. It was a very dark space. I was on one side of the room behind the turntables, and they were all, if they wanted a relief from the dance floor, they'd come up the stairs, and there was also.
Oh, they got a relief, all right.
Oh yeah. But so Run DMC came and performed about 2000, and they were up in that second room. They had blocked it off so nobody would come in order for them to literally count their money. And again, stereotypical rap artist scene. Ahead, a warning. I was up there playing music, and I'm still mad at myself for not having any of their records with me that night, because I could have said, hey. But that wasn't the style that I just explained to you that I played up there. It was different electronic stuff, and I didn't have any. I do own lots of their vinyl, but I went up, approached them, stacks of cash in front of them.
Wow.
They're all sitting there just literally counting. I'm like, am I dreaming this? This is out of a scene out of a movie. And I approached them, and they don't really look at me. I don't remember, but I said something to the effect of, my name is Ira, big fan. Just wanted to come over and shake y'all's hands, and they shook their hands, and that was the extent of the conversation. They weren't interested in discussing. They had their money.
Can I sort of brag a little bit? Let me one up you.
Please do.
I met the RZA from Wu-Tang one time. So when 8 Diagrams album came out, I think it was that same week or even that same day, because I think records normally would come out on Tuesdays. There was a concert. I think that night I went with my brother, the Independent in San Francisco on Divisadero Street. I'm literally it's a small venue, front row, standing and everything. And then the show starts and everything, or his part comes on. He goes, "Yeah, what's up, everybody? Who bought the new album today or whatever?" And I was like, I brought it with me.
Me.
I was like, yeah, woo-hoo, hey, look at me. And I'm like right there.
And the guy was like, anybody else?
No, seriously. Yeah, exactly.
Any women? Any women
Exactly.
by the angle?
I've got the broken vinyl. It's in my pocket. Hold on.
Exactly. And so he looked at me. He was like, oh, hell yeah. I don't know if he said hell yeah, but he got my CD. He was like, yeah, he knows what's up. And he looked at it. He looked at it front, back. And then he just placed my CD on the table behind him. And then he proceeded to do the show. He left my CD there. So I was like, what the hell? And then, people around me were like, oh, he kept your CD. So after the show.
That's weird. Yeah.
I know. Well, but after the show, one of his guys, when he went backstage, I kind of grabbed his attention and I said, hey, I'm the guy with the CD. Can I get my CD back? But can he? But I said,
I want my fucking CD back, man. Fuck who you are.
He's like, what are you accusing me of stealing your CD?
Yeah, I know. And I said, can he sign it for me? And he goes, hold on, come around to the side area. There's like a little, rope or whatever. So I waited there, and a couple minutes later, he came by. He goes, yeah, come follow me. So I followed him to this little hallway and to this little kind of dark room. I bumped into this as soon as I walk in. I bump into the small table, and there were like 2 beer bottles, and I dropped both of them, and I'm like, oh man, I felt like a nerd. I picked them up, and then on one side, it's like a couple guys just kind of chilling there. Really, I think they might have been smoking. And then when I see RZA, Robert Diggs, or Bobby Digital, he was all the way at the very end. It was a small room, sitting down. So he was just chilling. So I walked to him and I was like, "Hey, I don't know if I said Mr. RZA, I swear, but I might have said Mr. RZA.
You did. Yeah.
Mr. RZA. Hey, I'm the guy with the CD. I was wondering if you can sign it for me." And again, he looked at it. He's like, and I think I had a marker on me, and then he decided where to sign it. And he signed it. He goes, "All right, man, right on." And then he goes, "Do you know?" I was gonna shake his hand. He goes, "Do you know how to do the Wu-Tang handshake?" I was like, not sure." He goes, "Yeah, just go like that, and then you kind of like that again, like a W." I was like, "Cool." And then I shook his hand. I was like, "Cool, appreciate it, man. Take care." He goes, "Right on." And then I just left, and I thought it was freaking awesome. And he was
so you're it sounds like you're in the Wu-Tang clan.
I'm part of Wu-Tang. I'm part of Wu-Tang.
Well,
it's cool.
The little known fact that I guess you haven't been made aware of, Mr. Spotlight, is the fact that he does that as a prank. He uses the restroom, and this is known. I can verify this. He uses the restroom, does not wash up. Just for backstage fans after shows, he does this. He purposely plants the CD so he knows you're coming. Man. Oh no, this happens. I've read. You're not alone. There's a whole thread that discussed this. Uses the restroom, purposely leaves some urine on his hand. When he showed you handshake, boom, boom, and you felt like you were special. You're not.
I'm gonna have to wash my
urine.
hands.
You've got RZA's urine on all of your.
Yeah. All right. Well,
sorry, I didn't mean to shit on your point, but
it's okay. Okay.
I don't know. So, you met one member of the Wu-Tang.
No,
Ira's got like Run DMC.
I know. I'm like, that was a one-up story.
I met Raekwon at the movie theater one time, and I was on stage with Method Man. Literally on stage as he was performing, because he asked people, "Hey," he goes, F security, you want to come on stage? And everybody kind of bum rushed the stage, and I was like, "Woo!"
Not to shit on anything. I love the fact that somebody you respect, an artist that you admire, get that close to and have those personal experiences. That's fucking awesome. I got to in a lot of cases too.
That's awesome. Yeah,
I love that.
You worked anybody else that you worked with, or?
Oh, the Dennis Rodman thing I was going to talk about. I don't remember if I mentioned that on the first thing or not, but it was.
I don't remember that from the first one, but it's been a long time.
Oops, I'm sorry.
No, go for it. Dennis Rodman.
Well, what's interesting to me is the stories that have come out since, of course, now that media is so widespread, and these are the worldwide stories I pay attention to, calling me media ignorant.
I said checked out. I just called you checked out now. But Dennis, so this is back in the day, like you met him.
So it was around 98, 97 when Dennis Rodman was now proven to have left the finals and partied in Vegas and came back. I think it was the year after he did that. That's what the stories have come out, that teammates didn't come out right and say it, but they were a little annoyed. I think it was mentioned in The Last Dance.
I remember back when I used to pay attention to sports, where like that was a really big deal, and like everybody had an opinion about whether he should have done that or not, or like
he still
everybody
put up the numbers, man. He produced. Yeah. But my story about him was I was DJing at a nightclub that was right behind MGM. It was actually called Club Utopia, for anybody that might be listening that remembers, a very legendary nightclub on the Strip, and it was New Year's Eve, and again, it was kind of a second room, but it wasn't a chill room like I described before. No beds, just another area where they could house some people and another DJ setup. And I actually finished the main room and then went to the second room for a little after hours thing. And that, from what I understand, everybody from the club about 2 or 3 in the morning when I was DJing was not in the main room, but in my room. And Dennis Rodman comes walking in with Carmen Electra on his arm and comes up to the DJ booth and walks right up on me, next to me, and I'm busy, when I'm working. I'm not doing what DJs do now, which is push buttons and then do this.
Did you have a puffy jacket on?
Puffy jacket. I don't know why, but
did you have a marshmallow shaped helmet?
I am Daft Punk. Yeah,
you are. Was that who that was?
I thought for sure.
I thought that was some guy named Mello.
That was a joke. I switched it. It was one, but then I did the other.
Yeah.
It was the joke. I didn't. All right. Anyway, so Yeah, Rodman puts his arm around me.
Okay.
Very sweaty.
Oh man.
Very sweaty. All I remember, because I'm busy. I'm doing my thing, drinking. That was it. The extent of my I like weed, but I'm not, one of those DJs that was over the top doing things and unable to, carry on with my mission. And he was up with his arm. It was one of those deals where, his one arm was here, Electra was standing here, and his arm is sleeked over me. I'm much shorter than he is.
Yeah.
So when you turn, you can imagine my view. And
how did it taste?
What's the word?
They do call him the Worm. That was his nickname.
He was delicious. It was whatever droplets flew in the mouth.
Yeah.
Saved him. The Rodman saved him. Got him. Packaged him.
Yeah. I would have cloned him. Yeah, I would have.
But Carmen Electra blew me kisses, which was the highlight of my night. One of my highlights of my life.
Yeah,
it was one of those deals where they left the room.
Yeah.
Then came back to the booth. Here we go again. Arm around. I'm like, how long is this motherfucker gonna?
Oh man,
stand here. It was miserable. It was exciting, but then when I had to turn around and flip through the records to get the next selection, it's like,
and you would
and then back over, and I'm like, dude,
yeah, exactly. What can you tell him, right?
Yeah. So then I fucking punched him in the nuts as fucking hard as I could, man, with my foot,
with my shoe. Carmen Electra.
That would have been an awesome story. Yeah.
Took her out the back.
Yeah.
So that was the actual.
Carmen's right behind you in bed. There you go. There she is.
She is.
Oh, hey, Carmen.
She is.
Hey, what's up, Carmen?
Fuck. No, I can't. I promised I wouldn't move. Baby, I'm not going to let you get on camera. No, fuck. You ruined my night, dude. Sleeping on the couch.
So Dennis Rodman. That's a good one.
Yeah, that was a nightmare.
So that was when he was playing for the, I don't remember like
Bulls.
the years, but that was the
doubles.
Late 90s. Yeah.
Actually, he had a small stint with the Lakers, whom I love. I think it was right around that time. Very short.
Is that all he played? He played for the, I remember when he was the Pistons when I first heard of him.
Yeah.
But then he went to the Bulls. Did he go to the Bulls after that?
And he went
to the Lakers for a minute.
And then I think a Spur for a minute, or maybe that was between Bulls and Lakers, because he was a Spur for a second, I believe, San Antonio Spur. But yeah, so that's interesting.
Yeah, he makes me think. Dennis Rodman makes me remember a time where I was all about SportsCenter, and that was just SportsCenter was it. Just all sports all the time, like have an opinion on everything. And there really weren't that many. Like he was very unique. Now there's there's not another Rodman, but there's a dozen NBA players either in Russian prison or in trouble for something these days, or something more serious too. Yeah, like now and again, like Rodman's troubles back then are like, well, I don't really remember the details, but were like probably pretty minor compared to nowadays. It's like assault and battery, like domestic abuse, that kind of shit.
Well,
I'm running to Vegas or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, he did what Howard Stern did also, right? Didn't they both do like book signings, both dressed up as women? I think, right? Howard Stern.
Yeah, he went through a period there, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then he was an original. Nobody was doing that, especially not sports celebrities.
That was definitely.
He really was just seeking attention, and it worked. He would dye his hair. Nobody was dyeing their hair. Now you got people in the playoffs, the Celtics last year with dyeing their hair green, and that's unheard of before Rodman came around.
Yeah, Rodman was like a very, I guess, polarizing figure, maybe. Just hard to put your finger, because in one minute you'd be like, I like him.
Yeah.
And then the next minute you'd be like, what? He's in North Korea? What?
What?
He's hanging out with Kim Jong-il. Oh, okay.
There was a doc made about that. I invite you to watch that. It really sheds a little bit more light on the visit.
Yeah, I think I have seen. Really? I think I have seen that.
It's old. It's a couple of years old already.
I feel like you want to like him and sympathize, right? Because didn't he have a hard life as a kid and as a youth? I'm sure there's a lot of psychological stuff. Unfortunately, kind of like Adam, Carolla has said a few things about how, I think, didn't he say something about his kids? Obviously he's not, I think, right, the greatest father, and I don't know how he had issues, obviously, with one or I don't know how many kids he
about
has.
Dennis Rodman.
Rodman, yeah.
I don't remember. I don't really remember.
If
I don't
if
know.
that's how you're going to define a person, I got issues with my kids. So
I don't think.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't
I'm
think
not
Robin
going there.
had
I'm
like
not-
the.
those who cast. I don't know what that.
I don't think Robin had
expression
like
is.
the worst upbringing, but I'm not really sure. I'm not really.
Yeah,
not sure
I don't
about
know.
that.
But remember back in the day when he was no one really the people that know him as the mainstream Rodman with the green hair and all that stuff. A lot of them don't remember him from the Bad Boys of the Pistons, Detroit
Right.
Pistons.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I just hated those guys with a passion. Bill Lambert,
Lambier,
Lambier or Lambert,
yeah,
whatever. Yeah,
Isaiah
Dennis Rodman. Isaiah Thomas was it's kind of a prick. He still is a prick. Had one more guy.
Who was it? That was right before my interest in basketball started. Was when the Pistons were in existence.
That was like a time where the Lakers, like this is probably the Lakers and the Celtics, and then the Pistons were kind of breaking up little, whatever you call it, that little rivalry. Yeah.
And when I first got into the Lakers, the only reason actually is because I loved basketball, and from the UNLV Running Rebels at that time in the 90s, they were the local, college team, and they were winning the championships. And they had Stacey Augmon, Larry Johnson.
That was an impressive team.
Yeah,
that was an incredible team. Yeah.
I had no interest in sports or basketball prior to that. And a buddy of mine, I moved to Vegas, and a buddy of mine sat me down, smoked a joint, and said, "Watch this." And I watched the Rebels play on TV, and I went, "Holy shit, this is amazing what I'm seeing." And then
that was they
won.
Time.
Team broke up. Only team I could watch in Vegas were the Lakers. That was broadcasting because the Lakers doesn't have a basketball.
I remember Jerry Tarkanian
team. Yep, he was the coach.
UNLV running Rebels. The Jerry Tarkanian, the ball, that old white guy looked like the janitor, and he would sit on the sideline. He would like have
chomp the
towel, right?
Yep. Famously depicted
Shark.
in Casino, the movie. He was.
They called him the Shark, and I think he had a night. I think I went to his nightclub.
You did.
That's where I worked. The Shark. What? Oh yeah.
Yep. Same building.
What was it called?
Changed
like the
names.
Shark or
Tarkanians.
something?
It was Tarkanians.
Tarkanians or whatever. And he was there, but it was just, that's not really my scene. It's just like wall to wall, like blaring music.
That's
like,
what I lived in for many years. That you were there. You were there.
Okay. Yeah. I remember
one of the
that
clubs.
club.
That's where the Beastie Boy cover band played, in that building right there. It
just
later changed its name to Tom and Jerry's is what it was called.
That would have been like
Tarkanians.
It would have been like mid 90s, I guess.
Yes, sir. You're exactly right.
I was out there for go to some trade shows, some conferences out there. So
changed the name right about 94. Closed for a while.
Yeah, it was a long time ago, man.
Just like yesterday.
Tarkanian. I think he's dead, but he made a bunch of cameos and shows and movies. Yeah.
Every Vegas related movie. I think he might have been in Honeymoon in Vegas, and everything that was filmed at that time, he had some sort of cameo in.
I remember there's an interesting cultural thing going on at the time. I mean, similar to now, like where, it was the UNLV running Rebels. It was, just players that clearly were not going to college for college.
You're right. Oh my gosh, what a memory you have.
They'd play like one or two seasons. I don't know if they were like, they won the championship once. And then there were teams like Duke and UNC
killed us. We beat them by the largest margin ever.
Yeah.
They then beat us by the largest margin ever the following year.
It was kind of like, there's these black guys that go to college for like a year or two, like get recruited just to play, and then they go to the NBA, of course.
There was a big lawsuit. Yeah.
And then, then you had like the old school teams like Duke or UNC Duke that were like, they had a few white kids. They had a few like Christian Laettner
and the Bobby Hurley.
Yeah, they had Bobby Hurley as their point guard.
Wow, I can't believe
it's kind of like it's very
he didn't even go on
a cultural thing. Yeah, it was like, who do you it was very much I don't know what you'd call it. Yeah. Kind of like old prize fights where it's like very ethnic kind of thing.
So at to put the cherry on my story, essentially about the DJ life I led, after at the time when I was working at the Venetian in 1999, 2000, the Run DMC story, I actually was I was contacted by a lot of local rave promoters at that time. That was a popular thing, the warehouse raves, and I got to play at many of them, quite a few of them, probably 30 or 20 in a somewhere around there. I've got all the flyers because at that time that was the only way it was promoted before the internet, just as at the infant stages of the internet.
Like AOL, AIM.
You had to do a bunch of flyers all the time.
People were passing out flyers in nightclubs, and so they'd come to these raves, and that's where I got a lot of notoriety and got to be the headline name for a couple years. And
do you have? Let us know. I'd love to see. What would the flyer say? Like DJ Ira or something like that, or
yeah, I've got them within a grabbing distance. One moment.
Yeah.
He's still got a few hundred or thousand laying around.
Yeah, that's I'd love, I'll post them online, and now it's like you don't need a street team. Remember back in the day they had street teams, the radio days. I remember back in the day the radio stations had street teams in a van with the thing on the logo on the side.
Sure, yeah.
Now you don't need street teams. All you need is Instagram and maybe a couple of retweets.
They still exist. You'd be surprised how many of these local radio stations still at our events and things.
I think some Monkey's uncle has a DJ name for you, but I don't know. It might be a little insensitive, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell you. He said a DJ 401k.
Trying to tie it into IRA.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
The funny thing is I work at a bank. So Moby actually performed at this club at this time, and then I happened to be on a flyer with Moby. This is Utopia here. This is the nightclub I was talking about where the Dennis Rodman incident happened, but they had the list of DJs that were playing. Some were national. Bad Boy Bill was a very popular DJ at that time and still is a legendary DJ. I where's my name? Very small on here. This is not a headlining event, just DJ Ira.
Oh, I see it. I see it. Yeah, DJ Ira.
This isn't a rave DJ. This is a nightclub one. But that's just the first I grabbed. One where here's an Ira. This is a.
Okay. Oh, Ira.
Okay, I see it. Nice.
Now it shows a date here.
Okay. So
what was that 98? Was that said 98?
Play on Teletubbies at the time. And you can see me in the
Ira. Yeah. Now when you would do these warehouses and the raves and all that stuff, was it like all cash? Was it one of those like here's an envelope full of cash?
Oh yeah.
Have to be like that.
Oh, this is kind of cool. I'm at the top.
I hope the IRS is not listening.
This is 1999, so this is unless they want to retro me.
Yeah.
But so proud to say I got to, and the stack is this large. So
Adrienne, former guest, says DJ Dimple.
Oh, there is one here. My mom loves it. She's like, you got a dimple. Yeah. So.
Well, one day when we need an official DJ one day. Yeah.
Well, I got deemed DJ Ira by. It's funny you should say that because we flashing back to like 94 when I was working at the college bar, not Tarkanians, but across the street from it called the Sports Pub 5 nights a week for 3 years. They did have a local alternative radio station DJ come in. Holly Adams was her name from K-Rock, originally from K-Rock that Corolla talks about. Oh, and Dusty Street, Dusty Roads. You know how Dawson always mentions Dusty Roads? There really was a Dusty Street at K-Rock when he does those lead-ins to songs every Monday.
Yeah.
When he says Dusty Roads, there is a Dusty Street that actually left K-Rock, and Holly Adams also left K-Rock and joined The Edge in Las Vegas, very popular national alternative station at that time. And those DJs came to the club I worked at weekly for live broadcast events. So I was on the radio too, spinning.
That's pretty cool.
At that time, which was kind of cool.
All right. Well, Chris was saying that if we ever need a DJ, and I'm not kidding either. One of these days, Chris, we're gonna do a Endless Ranters event we're gonna have DJ Ira on the ones and twos on the wheels of steel.
Still got them. They're back there, and thousands of records here, as you can see some of them right there. Yeah, I've literally got 3,000.
Yeah, I've seen Ira's record collection. It's insane.
I know, Ira. I know your people come from being managers and agents and everything, but let me be
people.
People.
White, skinny,
yeah, from Reno.
From Reno, yeah. There's a dime a dozen.
But let me be your manager. I'll be your manager. I already told him. I asked him.
Boom, you're hired.
He does.
I have no money.
Yeah. No, I'll work for free. I really will. You don't have an Instagram account? I would love to see you DJ. Like you've done it before. You posted a memory today, right, from a DJ set. Well, at home.
I was just playing out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought it sounded cool.
yeah. And I feel like, and you were mixing once. What song? It was like.
Was it Broken Wings by Mr. Mister? I was take. I was like, yeah.
You were scratching it. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Not very well. The turntable I was using is shitty. So if I had better equipment, it would have been more.
What tight. Do I know? I don't know. What do
hey, if you thought it was cool, I'm happy.
I thought it was cool, especially when you kind of mix and scratch. And kind of blend some songs that you might not think you could, kind of like when it's always cool when they kind of mix songs that you don't really see.
Yeah, see, that's the art of turntablism that's really lost these days. That it sucks because new DJs with their equipment that really does a lot of stuff that you can't do with vinyl, but it just does a lot of really high-tech advanced stuff, has become the norm in society. So Corolla sees somebody pushing buttons, or the real big DJs who everything's pre-recorded and they're really not doing much live at all, just tweaking a couple things here and there, whom I don't respect, and it gives all DJs a bad name. I come from taking music that I love and trying to create an energy out of nothing. I used to like to say with a crowd that I don't fucking know who they are. Just boom, let's see if I can speak to them through music and raise the energy level and get them peaked to a point where they're just loving it, and then kind of drop the energy and then just do it over and over, all in one seamless groove too. Never really missing a beat, so no silence or dead air, or that's the goal of a DJ in a dance floor. But now it's.
That's interesting because we pictured DJs and like in the movies, because they always show you in the movies like the highest point, right? Where exactly. But like like 8:30,
licking their fingers.
Like 8:30 p.m. when the crowds are starting to roll in. No one, none of the whatever they're taking is kicking in yet. It's like you got to get people moving a little bit, or we're just kind of standing around. Like what do you do then? What do you do then?
Oh no, you know what to do after a while.
Playing like Casey and the Sunshine Band.
Oh, you pop something obvious on "I Will Survive," or depending on your dance floor. I mean, I did
the Tiger.
No, never.
What
I did?
Free Bird.
Yeah.
No, never. Put everyone to sleep. Here's your free bird, by the way.
Yeah.
A musician, Sean Eiferman, famous local Vegas musician, used to say that in his shtick that awesome. I would watch every week. For 3 years, every Wednesday night, over and over.
Oh wow!
And, I got to see it. We had house bands. So there were bands that would come Friday and Saturday nights, and every Wednesday at the college bar too. So, and their following would come, and I'd hear many of the same songs over and over. But it was fun. It was good times. But yeah, the whole DJ thing, my whole. I did get to do the wedding thing at the end there because in 2000, when I stopped DJing really in nightclubs, I had met my wife and started having children and decided maybe it wasn't the best thing for me with my wandering eye to be a part of. So I did do weddings a ton. I worked for a company and that was all CDs, which I've got a shit ton of those too because that was at the time of burning them and getting music from YouTube, and I did a wedding at probably just about every casino you can name on the Strip.
So, did you include Elvis Presley songs in your
sometimes? There was some. I saw some gigs. I did corporate events too and things like that where Elvis impersonators, really good ones, mind you, not shitty ones, but really good ones would come and high paid. I mean, they were getting paid more than me, I'm sure. But I saw quite a few Elvis impersonate. I didn't have to play too much unless it was, called for, or Elvis theme event, which, yes, there were those.
Yeah.
But I didn't have to do the schlocky Vegas stuff too much. I was fortunate. I did have one event where the power went out, which was terrible. It was at the Bellagio.
Was there like a heist going on or something?
I don't know what happened, but all my gear, and it was during a bunch of people dancing at a wedding, peak moment. They're all drunk, an hour in, and it was just everything was going great, and then silence. And it was I didn't touch anything. It was one of those moments I'll never forget, obviously 20 years later, that it was just appalling, embarrassing.
Well, it's one of the downsides of that profession, right? You need electricity.
Yeah, but it came back on within a minute or so, and they were all reasonable, fortunately. But
yeah, I guess that is a hell of a lifestyle, though. Yeah, not great hours for getting a family up and going.
Yeah. Not conducive to family life. Plus, that environment is in Vegas. Coupled with it being Vegas, can equal disaster.
Lived there. So you were pretty much everywhere then. Yeah. So that doing those types of things and the weddings and all that would have brought you just about everywhere in Vegas.
Man, this one event I'll never forget. Worst story wedding out on a farm about an hour outside of Vegas. Long story short, ceremony took place on this beautiful grassy hill that was just about, I don't know, a couple hundred yards from me. I was set up where the reception area was for the music. After the ceremony, they would all come down this hill, and it just beautifully set up. Not more than 15 minutes after the ceremony and all the guests sat down, a windstorm came, and then more wind, and the dust, the amount, and I'm going, oh, geez, I'm outside with speakers on stands, with gear just exposed, and the dust is just starting to come at me. So I had to throw the gear in the sheets on the tables were blowing, and the all of the cutlery and setup were just blowing, ruining their wedding.
Forks,
and I packed up, and it was terrible. They all went inside. They had a place to go, but it was scary.
The bride, was her name Carrie by any chance?
Probably. It was. If you had a wedding like that, I just can only imagine what the rest of your life is going to look like.
Yeah, that's gotta be a yeah.
I just remembered that was
like, if you can't ever talk about your wedding day.
Boss was so mad at me for weeks after, with the amount of cleaning of the dust and dirt he had to get out of the amps. He was like, "How?
Oh, what are you gonna do?"
It was so bad. He was reasonable, but
you're not a meteor. I don't even know who would predict a sandstorm.
It was insane. Nobody would, and it was fine for an hour. I was setting up the ceremony. 3 hours in, and boom.
Monkey's uncle was asking if you ever went to Burning Man. How long has Burning Man been going on? Has that been going on a long time?
Long time.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I never got to. Was that north of Reno? Because when that started, I think it was in Vegas.
Idea. I have no idea.
Which was really far from it, and I don't travel much because.
Is it still a thing now that that's not like? I think the most recent stories I've heard is that it's kind of like that, like celebrities go and have like massive tents and like catered food. It's not
right around on those.
Lost some of
segues.
Maybe lost some of its. I don't know.
Oh,
grassroots beginning maybe. But,
everything was commercialized, like the raves now and the big events. It was these DJs getting paid, the superstar DJs that didn't exist back then.
It's no.
I missed my time.
it's no fire festival.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Why?
I'm just kidding. Was that fire? Remember that debacle that happened? It kind of came and went a couple years ago. I think Ja Rule got a pass on that.
I think so.
There's some docs about it, but I don't have the patience to watch.
Yeah, they made the white guy go to jail for that one. And I don't even know if he got in that big of trouble. But yeah, that was pretty amazing. Well, it was a kind of a thing that came and went, like all in the span of a few months. It was like fire festivals happening. A bunch of people down there, and they got like like butter on bread and as meals. Then it was a disaster. Then all of a sudden, like within like a week, there's 2 documentaries, like 2 documentaries on all the both streaming services. And then
wow, the docs made more money than the festival. That's pathetic.
They must have, yeah.
That's crazy. What a
It was
world.
kind of the docs were well made. I remember watching them, and I usually don't get kind of like pulled into that kind of stuff, but yeah, it was kind of interesting to kind of the anatomy of a scam, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, really.
They weren't scamming. I think Adam like talked about that. They weren't really scamming like construction workers.
No.
They were scamming like trust fund kids that
a whole bunch of douchebags.
15 grand to blow on a concert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People I used to play music for back in the day.
Probably. Yeah.
I'm sure there might have been a couple of suckers who spent their maybe life savings on, they wanted to be influencers and they blew
You're
everything.
right. You're very right. There probably were like a couple dozen like early, like early TikTokers or like Instagram that were like, this is an investment.
Yeah, that would have been me. Like, it's gonna look cool on my Robbie Spotlight Instagram account, with the me on the beach with the pigs in the background and me in the water, and it's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna
some of the docs even had like they had like the layout of like all the tents and the campground. Oh yeah, it was pretty interesting. But
I like the show Cops.
I like the show Cops too. You hear Live PD's coming back.
Oh yeah, I can't wait.
Have they talked about it on ACS? I like the show Cops, but I will say Live PD is a superior show, but got taken off the air after George Floyd.
Yeah.
So, but now it's coming back, but it's going to be on that Reels network or something.
And
Reels isn't Reels the network that does like the bogus documentaries on like Whitney Houston or. You know what I'm talking about?
The ones that everybody else passes up on, probably.
Yeah, but they're like really like highly embellished, melodramatic.
I'm pretty well versed on the networks, but I don't know what the hell they show.
It's REELZ, I think.
Ooh, oh man.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. Anyway,
kind of black.
I could be wrong though, but yeah, it's coming back. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, it's a good show.
But
by the way, Tommy Shenanigans is online right now. He said Fire Festival, they made Ja Rule promise not to ever make music again and they would let him go.
There you go.
I like every now and then you'll hear like an old like Ja Rule come up with like he's got an old beef with like another old rapper from the 90s or something.
Yeah.
I can't even think of a name right now, but shit. Ja Rule and
we had a beef with 50 Cent at one point.
Well, haven't we all?
Yeah.
Fucking 50 Cent. He still fucking owes me money. Dick.
He's ran into him. No.
Well, he had that one song. His first hit, like real first hit was how it was called How to Rob. And it was a song about how he was robbing different artists. Like he mentioned so many rappers and singers throughout the song. And I think that's how he got his name out. Like he mentioned so many people. And of course, it's good for him because then he'll start beefs and so
only somebody completely innocent and free of any guilt would be able to be clever enough to write with that much intelligence. You know what I mean? It's kind of like Christina Applegate playing the role on Married with Children. She's brilliant, but she's able to play it ditz. It's kind of the same thing with Ja Rule. I mean, there's a lot of parallels there. Complete parallel with Christina Applegate.
Ja Rule? I was thinking didn't Ja Rule do a movie with Jet Li?
Oh yeah,
John Jett, man, that's my shit.
They did a
John Jett.
It's like Jet Li, Ja Rule, and Aaliyah. Her. Oh man, she was.
Now you're going on sacred ground with Aaliyah. Let's not. Yeah.
Hey, no, I'm not going to say anything bad.
Yeah, wasn't it like Romeo Must Die or something like that?
Okay, well, maybe it wasn't Ja Rule. I think it was
DMX.
No, it was DMX. Yeah, that's what I was thinking earlier. I was thinking that Ja Rule and DMX had a beef over over
the
DMX's
voice.
treatment of animals.
Yeah.
Ja Rule's a really big into PETA.
Well, plus he turned down the role, and then when DMX got famous from it, then Ja Rule regretted that decision. And
Ja Rule was a poor man's DMX.
Beef created.
Yeah, DMX answered the phone. It's like, this is DMX, and the casting was like, "Oh, I thought I was calling Ja Rule, but hey, it's fine. We'll take you."
He's doing an impression on the phone.
You'll do.
That's what he does. Hey, do you guys watch The Boys?
The Boys.
Chris does. I haven't seen it yet.
I've been pleasure delaying this final season because it's just I think they just put the finale out.
Boy,
man, it's a great show.
Get to it.
Really,
I gotta watch
forward to this final season.
I'm not a Marvel guy. I'm sorry if that offends anybody or a superhero guy. But this is the greatest superhero thing ever created.
I have to, and it's basically rated like TV ma, as Chris would say, right? Rated R.
It's big vulgar.
Beyond that, beyond that.
Oh, you've seen the first few seasons, then, Chris, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean I think it's like the first.
There are two.
The first 30 seconds of the first season 1, episode 1, the first 30 seconds. I mean, you'll be in it like right away.
Brutal.
Something crazy happens. Like,
Robbie, if you haven't started, please do yourself a favor. It's incredible.
It's the anti-Marvel, like anti-heroes, and it's like what if?
Yet it reflects today's.
What if it was Marvel, but like a few decades down the line when everybody's everything's corporatized, and
for sure.
Yeah, Captain America had a sponsorship, and it's a great show on a lot of levels. Yeah, I can't recommend it more. There's another show that you guys had me thinking about earlier with all your nerds approaching rappers.
Yeah,
not you guys. Just your stories made me think about that. But no,
I am one.
There's a show called Dave on FX. Have you heard of this show called Dave on FX? No. You've probably seen the commercial or ad for it 100 times on the internet or something. You're just like, what the hell is it?
Oh, I think it's a movie.
And then one day Kevin started. This is so it's a Jewish guy who wants to be a rapper.
Fuck that shit.
I know. As outlandish as that seems, there's a Jewish guy that wants to be in entertainment. Now he wants to be a rapper, and it's kind of like an autobiography of his life, kind of. So it's like based on a true story because he really is like a rapper, like a really kind of unique, funny, like comic, like rapper, but he wants to be taken seriously, but he's not. He's a kind of a comic rapper, but his lyrics are crazy, like really, really unique. I guess he freestyles and can do all these different styles of rap. I don't know, but it's really good. It's like his character is really good. It's based on his kind of like true story. Kind of cool relationships in the show that he has with so he's trying to break in, and he's just told he's a fish out of water, right? He doesn't fit in, but he's very, very sincere and very earnest in what he's trying to do in his craft. And it's just really it's a really great show. Yeah, I couldn't recommend it enough.
You've watched a few episodes, or how much of it?
I think there's been at least once. There's been 2 seasons, I think. Yeah,
called Dave.
Just Dave.
Okay.
I'm wondering by your description, it reminds me of, do you recall, and I think I was reminded by a recent Corolla Classics of this guest that would rap kind of country-ish songs. He was on Corolla, I think 5-6 years ago. Any topic that you threw at him, he would kind of rap it almost in a country style
Kelly
way.
something,
yeah, with the guitar, right?
Yeah, because I think when he first came into studio, he came in with like a baseball player, like someone, like he knew someone, and that introduced him to Adam, or like he came in with another guest,
really,
and maybe stole the show. I don't know, probably something. But yeah, he would give him a topic, and he would. I don't remember the country part as much, but
I don't know if I'm remembering it wrong or mixing him with Mr. Stinkfinger with his stuff.
Who? No.
With Def Rec guy, what's his real name? And how he does those songs as his real name as
Josh Gardner.
Corolla's talked to. I feel like we have to tie some things back to Corolla as a.
Oh sure, yeah, we can get into that. I was wondering, you're. Still
I love talking about.
You're still a daily listener, yeah. We've kind of gotten into talking about Adam Corolla many times, you and I. So.
Oh yeah.
I have not been listening as much lately, just because I've been, my schedule and not as much time in the car. Listening to some other kind of more news-based things these days.
It's funny, Chris. The episode with Ira, the first episode, you mentioned that you're more of a car podcast guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said that.
Yeah. So you
did I say that? Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
You did.
I probably said that a few times. Yeah.
If you agreed with me. If you don't drive, you don't really listen to podcasts.
Well,
when you're driving?
I'm the same, and then I did get the good fortune to get to work from home, as many of us did, for a couple of years. And that was my morning. Was I put it on, and I had the ability to be able to listen. So, and now I'm back to commuting, and that's my commute.
What cuts into my podcast listening time is I will sometimes listen to more news analysis because there's things going on. I want to know more about it.
Well, you're a smart guy.
Music. So. Like if I start, I'm like, I want to listen to music in the car. It's like, well, listen to something. Then I probably just won't listen to any podcast that day.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So I interrupted you. You said you haven't been listening to a lot of Adam, right? Because you've been not really driving so much.
That was just me, but I know Ira's been listening still. I still listen. I probably listen to part 2. Like most mornings, I'll start part 2 with the guest. Yeah. So I don't know. I didn't listen to Piven much because it's kind of like I was talking about a couple weeks ago. Like how many more times we have to hear from Howie Mandel? Like I don't think Piven's gotten there yet, but I feel like we just talked to Jerry McPiven at length like a year ago.
Let me make lemonade out of that comment because I'm with you. I mean, come on, we all are as fans. But
Ira has to protect his brother Jeremy Piven, right? Isn't his name Ira?
Because we know each other. I just got off the phone with him. we're all the Jews. We all get along.
I think he
played have a secret number
named Ira.
He played a character named Ira on what is it? That Hollywood show. Right?
That probably.
Oh, Entourage. There you go.
Oh, was he? Oh, was it? I never watched a single episode of Entourage.
It's been years since I did.
Yeah, his name was Ira. Anyways,
there you go.
So what you were going to say? Yeah.
I was going to say, over the years I've thought about how, especially again, Corolla Classics makes us all remember some of the guests that have been there that do not return for some reason. So I'm grateful for the repeat guests. Clearly, they're comfortable. They feel like it's a forum where they can speak their mind. And if they rehash the same story, I don't care. I'm just driving to work. Again, Chris, you have different kind of a modus operandi in your mind. You like to be more aware of things going on in the world. I like to disappear into this or my music.
Don't get me wrong. I also like to listen to the Adams and the
No,
news.
you don't.
I like to get Adam's take on things. But sometimes his takes lately are a little more predictable.
I don't even really care so much about his comments as much anymore as I like. I've always been a fan of Brian's input and drops, and Gina being a fellow Jew, I appreciate her being there. I've loved all the news girls. I've loved them all for separate reasons. Physically, Teresa,
haven't they all been Jewish though?
There you have it.
There you go.
I love non-Jews as well. I love you and you. Just so you know, I've love for everybody. I love that Jaws poster in your background.
But do you like one type of breakfast taco? Are you one of those kind, or do you like all the different types of breakfast tacos?
I'm into breakfast tacos, man. You throw a breakfast taco at me, I'm game. I'm like, hey, there's some bacon in there. I'm good.
Okay, so you're potatoes. Okay with diversity.
I like some cheese.
So we have to talk about these things to get around YouTube's rules. So you like diversity in your breakfast taco meat?
Are we trying to have some sort of conversation that I'm not having here? Because I'm talking about tacos.
I'm just kidding.
What type of binders do you like? And
I got a whole binder full of women, white women. Where the white women at?
Yeah.
That's a drop, by the way. I'm a human drop machine.
Were we talking about Mitt Romney before we started recording?
Yeah. We don't know who that is.
Yeah, Mitt Romney.
I have all his records
talking about that.
Big fan.
Music. Oh, speaking of records. Okay.
Oh yeah.
You're a big record guy. You're a big 80s guy. I think we've talked about this. I like synth stuff. I like synth pop.
That's what started me. Yeah.
Synth wave, Depeche Mode, Tears for Fears. What is it? Howard Stone.
Jones. Yeah.
Jones. A whole bunch of. I can't even think of. There's so many.
Duran.
Duran. Even though there's some Adam doesn't like them because they get kind of whiny, right? Yeah.
Duran was a classic '80s band. My kids were my son did on the Google Hub thing. Because you can have games, you can play games. These little touchscreen home assistant devices, and we were playing
name
what
device?
Home assistant.
Home. Oh, okay.
Like an Alexa
Please continue.
Dot or Echo or Google Hub or something.
I don't speak gay slang, but please continue.
We're playing Name That Tune, and I was like, choose the 80s. And I just totally dominated because they knew none of those songs.
Oh, you crushed.
This conversation's making me
like Howard Jones, like that music. Duran Duran was one of the quizzes. Hunger Like the Wolf by Duran Duran.
Yeah.
Oh, those are the good old days. Those are
I was one of those nerds, as
Thompson twins
they would call them. Yes, who loved all those bands that you just named, except I loved the B-sides. I was that guy that the radio hits drew me in, and then I enjoyed buying their records.
These tapes. Like this is, and this I joke about it, but this is like prime for me. This is prime time. Columbia Music, join, get 20 tapes or whatever.
Oh yeah,
or 12 CDs for 99 cents.
Penny.
Yeah. And I get like the Howard Jones tape, Thompson Twins tape, Duran Duran tape, all that. Yeah. I never got Flock of Seagulls, but just man, there's a song that came on the radio, like definitely a one-hit wonder. It was the Georgia Satellites.
Keep your hands to yourself.
Keep your hands to yourself. That song.
That was a jam, though. That was a jam.
I would have had that tape. So I would have to get my 1 penny's worth out of the tapes, I would listen to the B-side of the tape and and you kind of had to, because back then, like, you could listen to only the one song on the tape that you liked, but you had to be good at rewinding. You're going to use up all your batteries.
Sure.
If you had your boombox or whatever, your tape player, you're going to use up all your batteries, like rewinding. So you're just like, the most efficient thing for me to do is just listen to the entire tape and then flip it over and listen to the other side. And yeah.
Oh, that's how you discovered music back then. The radio would feed you the
fucking
hit.
Rat. I remember I had their tape.
Out of the Cellar.
I think it was Rat Out of the Cellar. I don't know.
That was their hit album. Yep. I'm a useless walking trove of music trivia from that time period, and I'm terrible at it.
Basically, like the whole Wedding Singer soundtrack, like
Dead or Alive,
every tape.
Spin Me Round.
That's right, Dead or Alive. Yeah,
it's funny because
I had that tape. I'm no joke. Had all those tapes.
I'd play Adam Sandler's "Grow Old with You" during the cake cutting at all of the weddings that I would do, because it was such a tender little moment, and they would be cutting the cake as that song played. I remember.
Yeah, I think one of my best friends, she got married, and I think they played that song on during the wedding. Yeah.
All right, Family of Three. Jeffy Lee here. He wants to talk about tape deck technology from back in the 80s, 90s. Yeah, there were if you had money, you had a tape deck where you could actually fast forward, and it would somehow, I guess it was scanning or scrubbing, whatever, but it would stop when there was a pause between the songs. Like, it would stop. Like a nice tape deck would stop between the songs.
Yeah, well, the little head reader would be able to tell if it was that little space on the tape.
Yeah, no sound.
It just reads the tape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, a lot of tape technology back then. Or like, I would figure out on the B side, like if you're listening to the other side of the tape, at what point could you flip it back over to the first side and it would be playing one of your favorite songs?
Yeah,
right. You'd be in the middle of a song that was like a 6, to get to the beginning of the song that was like a 10 on the first side.
Yep. Yeah, I still have, of course, I never threw anything away. Pack Rat here, and I still have many of those cassettes. Do you remember, of course, making the mixtapes back in the day or taking a record that you'd buy, playing it, recording it on a cassette so you could have it for the car?
For sure.
That was
making yourself mixtapes.
That was the original mixtape
for everybody else. Yeah,
pretty much
self mixtapes,
or even from the radio. Just recording from the radio as well. Yeah.
And waiting for that DJ to stop fucking talking. Don't talk over the whole bumper. God damn it. I want that music.
Yeah.
Some songs I still remember with that DJ talking. I listened to them so much.
I remember there was I don't know if I've ever talked about this before, but it makes me think about, like, back in, I might have been like 12 or something, but me and my buddies in the neighborhood, we would have sleepovers. And we'd stay up all night, and we would sit around a tape recorder and we'd record ourselves like doing a show. Yeah, the show would just be ourselves, like, being ridiculous at 2 a.m, sleep deprived, and like making fun of other friends.
Let's record ourselves.
We just record ourselves making fun of other friends. Yeah.
I've
I
got
remember
some
that.
of
And
those
then we would
tapes.
like listen to those tapes. Like we'd hold on to those tapes for like a couple of years and listen to them and like crack ourselves up. But then, yeah. And then it's like, well, we better not. We can't. Like our buddy's sensitive about that now, so we can't really play the tape anymore. You know, about his teeth, or whatever it was.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm currently facing an uphill old technology battle myself. It's been a couple of years of a search for those. Remember the video cameras that they used to sell in the 90s and 2000s that would play those 8mm tapes?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah,
I've got
yeah.
well, now that my kids are youngest are 17, I kind of long for those, to see those days when they were younger. And it's just at the cusp of internet technology. So I have all those tapes. Long story short, I've been trying to find a player for them and finally picked one up yesterday offline for a reasonable price. It's wonderful.
Good.
Plays.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
I
But
had
I get home.
mini DV was the technology I picked up for a video camera.
Oh,
which I think 8mm was like right before that, maybe.
Yeah, I think you're right. That was so my technology. You can pay somebody, $20 a tape to transfer it. I just figured I'll buy but what I've learned over the past couple of years, that technology, you can buy the cameras, but if the owners have thrown away the wires, you're screwed because they don't have backup wires for a Sanyo XL38 that was produced in 1998 anymore. So specific why if you don't. So I finally found one, plugged it in yesterday. I'm thinking, I can finally see my kids young again, moving around and pieces of my life. And I've got 15 of those damn tapes. And I can't get the video to plug in. It's not as if you've just got RCAs from that to my TV.
DV. I've got a mini. It was mini dash DV was another format. High 8. Jeff Lee came in. He says high 8 is the.
That's the one I've got. Right.
That must be what you got. Yeah. So, then this mini DV camera. I think I might even have it still somewhere because I still think I have tapes to it. Old like literally like old fishing. Like when I used to go on my boat, I'd record with this thing, but it was like, this freaking camera cost like $1,500 back then.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna record for like a minute and then just lock this thing away. But I remember it had like it had all the standard cables to plug into your TV, but it had some really unique plug to plug into the camera itself. That's totally totally unnecessary.
So I'm challenged with that right now. And so last night I was struggling. I got the audio to come through my sound system, but so it's nice and loud, and it's pretty weird to hear my kids, crying and all that. Those noises. They literally they were less than a year old when I was watching the video I popped in. I was a terrible cameraman, I learned, because we went to the zoo in Vegas. There's a zoo. And I'm literally it's 20 minutes of fucking walking around, there's my kid and there's the animals. There's my kid. There's little bits and pieces. I now know this many years later. So I'm fast forwarding through the thing. And mind you, I can't see the video on the screen. I'm looking through the viewfinder. I pressed up against it in order to see it. And it's not a great, so I'm challenged right now.
I'll tell you what, you might check out. I don't know about, you're in North Texas, close to me, but a lot of libraries nowadays. I've been to I work in the field a little bit, but library technology, like a lot of libraries will have these, like in major cities, they'll have these technology rooms where you can pretty much bring in anything, and they'll have some device, right? Because they're kind of like they got a lot of boomers coming in. I've been to the one. There's one that down in I think it's Harris County, which is like the Houston area. And they have this whole room where they've got like every device, like VHS, like where you plug in, you can convert it.
Wow.
It's just the service they offer to people because people don't want to come and read books anymore.
I was wondering how the library stays relevant.
And come in and, take their old VHS tapes and convert it into a DVD or something. And they have these software and these systems that are kind of designed to make it easy for people. But, I'm finally halfway there because I got the damn camera that works, plays, but I'll figure out a way. I have bad memories because I have bad memories of like the beginning of this technological age of home computers and all that. Because like I started working, this is like early 90s, like mid 90s. I was just starting to work and everything, and like all these things were coming out. you know, and you can get a great computer, but it was like $3,000
minimum.
It was like
the Dells or the
exactly. And I bought a Dell like early on, you know, where they just like finance it for you. And it's like I wound up paying like $3,500 for like a computer that had like 500 megabytes of disks of RAM or something.
Yeah.
It was like you could do nothing with it, but it was like, you know, had the old like a 50-pound CRT monitor. Came with a printer though. Came with a printer. But yeah, that shit was so expensive. And the same with the cameras. Like they'd be like, oh, there's this new, you know, digital video camera. It's like super expensive. And then, you know, things were going so fast there. And then a couple of years later, it's like you can get the same computer or like a computer that's, you know, 10 times faster for half the price, like a year later. So yeah. I don't appreciate that. I didn't appreciate that. You know, I got ripped off a lot when all these things were happening.
Yeah,
and they were just getting
money
cheaper.
To get ripped off.
They were just getting cheaper and cheaper. Like they were just getting cheaper so fast. Yeah. So,
does that answer your question, Jeff?
Was there a question that was answered?
I don't know.
Oh, something about tapes and technology.
Yeah.
Hey, don't count them out yet. Is what I can say.
There's the consensus in the chat is that you may have some old school pornography or some revenge porn on those high 8 tapes.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
You nothing I'm going to admit to. This is
you recorded over your family zoo trip with
this is evidence, remember?
Your 4-year anniversary drunken party.
Yeah, something like that. I wish there were things that exciting on there. It was literally fucking following a goddamn ostrich around for 20 minutes, me at the zoo. And look, there's a monkey. I'm like,
if you made homemade sex tapes, you'd still be married.
Well, I wasn't going to bring those up. This is nationally televised.
Oh, they want to know. There's a question about Don and Mike.
Oh, yes. I mentioned them in the first.
Do those names mean something to you? Is monkeys?
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, well, I mentioned them in the first time I was on the show in the regards that I loved them. They were a radio show, much like Adam Carolla started out as Don and Mike show. And then they eventually gravitated to podcasting. Mike O'Mara, half of that comedy duo, is still doing podcasting online, and I'll tune in every once in a while. It's fun. It's just a very entertaining podcast. They come from the old school and mock similar things that Carolla mocks, and I enjoy them. I actually, it's funny because I called them as a listener one time many years ago when my kids were, again, infants, and I was home from work on my paternity leave, listening to them every day. It's just before Carolla, it must have been. And listening to them, I called in because it was my last day. I got to be home for the 3-month period with my kids, going back to work. Called in, got my nerve up and said, hey, will you dedicate the show to me? Because I'm a huge fan. And I've been listening for a long time, and I won't be able to listen every day. And they tore me a new one. Oh my! They just ripped me apart. They were so cruel, in a funny way. And I remember my ex-wife was standing there like, "I told you not to call. Because they were just so. Why should we?" And it was funny, but not. It was great pod, but I was their target. And how dare I had the audacity to call. And so I then called back almost 10 years later, a few years ago, and realizing Michael Bear's show was still on the air. And I brought it up to them. I said, hey, longtime listener, haven't listened in a long time, but do you guys remember when I called and asked? And one of the guys on the show remembered that call. He said, oh my God, I remember you calling. And they again pulled some sort of shtick on me and then hung up on me. And they used it in a best of episode that a friend of mine later heard within the last year. He brought it up. He said, dude, I think I heard you on a best of episode of Don and Mike show. I'm like, oh my God. And he gave me the link. I listened to it and oh my God, it was embarrassing. But I love them. I'm a huge fan of them.
Well, how about to tie it all back to how we've all met? Now, the first time I became aware of Ira was a controversy in the porn.
the porn theater. Sorry, see,
I
helped you guys out.
It was on the big screen. Yeah. No, in the
No
Adam
faces.
Carolla podcast Facebook group where you got into it over, I think you had called and talked to Adam about you allegedly had seen Bill Cosby.
Was that the first time I called him? Oh yeah,
I'm not sure if it was the first time or not.
Oh, that was mad.
And there was someone in the group. His name was Taylor.
Yeah,
he was a member of this podcast for like about -8 seconds, but he got really up. Like like I don't know if, like I started paying attention. No, it was Taylor Crampton or something like that.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and then he decided that you were no good.
He always was. To be fair, he was always the bully, though, right? From what I remember, he was always bullying people in the group.
I guess you'd call him a bully. I would never see him as a bully because I would bully him. That's how. But no, like just a crazy person, a little bit crazy.
But I complained. I set myself up because I didn't feel that Brian or so. I think I got hung up
pissed.
on.
Yeah, he got pissed. Like he got pissed at you had a reaction, and then he got upset, and you guys were going at it. And then, like, I don't know what happened.
I don't remember.
It was pretty funny. It was the first internet fight I saw in the Adam Carolla group.
I remember.
I was the one being laughed at, not with, though.
You're the one that was coming out of weren't you coming out of an elevator or something like that? Was it you?
Yeah. To quickly recap the Bill Cosby story, I was there at the top of the Hilton, the Las Vegas International, where
you and Bill Cosby and Janice Dickinson, famous.
Oh man, it was so glorious. The hot tub, the pills, the drinks, they were endless, flowing. I reached over and felt a hand. Oh no, that's a different story, different time. No, I was there with my brother. We were at a bar mitzvah, my cousin's bar mitzvah, which was being held. They were wealthy, at the top of the Hilton in a big convention room. My brother and I went to the lobby, and also in that lobby was where the celebrities that were performing at the Hilton in Vegas at the time. It was called the Elvis Suite, but it was kind of disguised. It wasn't just obviously labeled Elvis Suite or guests. Anyway, my brother and I were loitering out in the lobby by the elevator. I was 10, maybe. My brother was 12. Bill Cosby walks out of the door, goes over to the elevator, pushes the button, and my brother and I recognized him from TV, and we're whispering. And one of us says to him, "Are you Bill Cosby?" And he turns around, no, and faces the other way. And we're, totally playing with us. We asked him a second time, same response. Third time, he got in the elevator, turned around and said, "I am Bill Cosby. I'm just messing with you," or something. And the door's closed. And we're like, holy shit, coolest story ever, right? My whole life, I met Bill Cosby, yada, yada. Flash forward to what he did. One of those rooms that were cited in one of the reports I read was the top of the Hilton. Yeah. So now this glorious memory I had of meeting a celebrity turns into tainted and gross and to add to the insult to injury, he was wearing a tennis racquetball outfit, right?
He's wearing
holding a tennis racket and balls. He was obviously on his way because my brother and I went in and told our parents or something, then went out to the floor where the tennis courts were to look for him, but we couldn't find him. I read in a Las Vegas Review-Journal article that I saved in Google that he also, his shtick was to say, "Let me instruct you with tennis." Many women that came forward said that was one of his things. He would teach me tennis and blah, blah, blah. And now the fact that I saw him in that outfit, it just creeps me out so bad.
I bet he did that move with he would get his hand and kind of like
put your arm like the way I do to all women.
Yeah, like at a pool table. I don't know why he would need the pills. I guess because he was married and all that. Because it was like
it was easily accessible.
You don't need you just be like, "Hi, I'm Bill Cosby, and I'd like to teach you tennis." Wink, wink.
Yeah, he was hot. I'd have fucking jumped on it in a second.
And then let's go back to my room, and I'll make you a star. And it's like, I guess the pills are more like,
enhancing the experience.
He'd rather them just not remember any of it. And I guess that's it. It's like they might remember, the roles I promised them.
Well, they were all wearing really short dresses, so they deserved it.
I think he could have done pretty damn well without, done real well without pills, and especially seeing how he knows now that his wife would go along with anything.
Oh, God,
you know what I mean? His wife's just like he's innocent. No matter what, his wife's just like he's innocent. So he could have been doing. He didn't even need to have the pills to like. She could have been in the next room.
Yeah.
She was probably assisting. Honey, give me one of those drinks with the things in there. Put 3 of them this time, sweetheart. You got me 3.
I
Secret
swear,
codes. He raps 3 times if it means 3.
First of all,
they
he's
had it
out.
worked out.
First of all, he's out. Like he's just out. Like, yeah, he's just out. Like Bill Cosby's just out running free. Like he lost all his whatever, but he's just out now. I don't know if he's being retried or what, but he's a free man at this point.
That's a great documentary.
He's fucking doing interviews about how much he's enjoying his freedom. That's crazy.
Like OJ. Jesus, quit while you're ahead. Stop.
What a crazy you're out. Crazy episode.
Yeah. Bill Cosby, he's gonna write a book called If I Did It also.
what if him and R. Kelly? Him and R. Kelly and OJ on a tour.
Why'd you put them in the closet? They didn't enter me in the closet.
Yeah.
Just put them in the bed.
Instead of Kings of Comedy, it's going to be the Kings of Rapery or something.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
That's just awful. That's terrible.
But OJ, but OJ's still the worst, though, right? Like, yeah, he actually cut somebody, cut a couple of people's head off.
Yeah.
Yet anybody sees him in public, they clamor for a picture with him to this day.
I remember the time he got off. I was in high school and everybody cheered. I didn't cheer, but I'm like, dude, like come on, he's guilty. You know this. And when he got off, I guess
I was hated because I lived in an apartment with 3 other people, and then we had we had friends that lived across from us in the same building, and there were just people in our place all the time watching the trial. And I was just like, I could care less. Like I could really care less about, any of it. And everybody's outraged, and I just couldn't care. I just didn't care at all. Didn't care at all. Because my take back then was like, everybody, there's like people get murdered all the time. Like non-hot blondes get murdered all the time. Like
I love the song by that. That's my favorite band. Then
3 non-hot blondes, yeah.
Non-hot blondes, man. Wedding song right there.
But yeah, I remember
what's going on.
I would always make snide comments and people would get annoyed.
Well, you are a snide comment, to be honest.
Well,
you're one big
good
extended snide comment.
Good.
In a good way.
So you
take in the spirit in which it's intended.
Bill Cosby was not interested in bringing you back to his room.
Well, he was on his way to meet somebody, clearly, or something, because he was
some playmates
for the part.
Some playmates. It would have been tennis.
Would have been a little bit shocking seeing disheveled, half of his shirt untucked and robe. Ooh.
I guess we've been going for a little while here, so we'll about wind it down. But any other last thoughts from you boys? Any recent Adam Carolla guest memories, things, etc.
To look to remember who's been on. I always love Adam Ray. Just kind of a recap for me. Love the shtick never gets old, especially when he does his Dr. Phil.
Yeah, he's not, to me, Adam Ray's not the funniest guest, but he's always really solid. And I like him a lot. I like his comedy style. Like he's always trying different things, like the weird music, songs, whatever. Some of them are just miss. Yeah. But he's very super creative. Yeah. So
yeah. I do miss Joe Coy. He's a little famous now, but I love how he came on and just would rant and insult Adam when they were doing everything was you motherfucker. He would always find a way to turn the little improv bits into insulting Adam. And
that was good. Yeah.
I think there was a little truth to those.
Murphy Bed and he would always, the character he's playing would always be really derogatory towards Adam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. At first it started a little calm.
PF Chang hostess. Yeah. Yeah.
But Kyle Dunnigan, fantastic. Love his repeat visits.
He's always great. I really love Kyle Dunnigan. I don't really like the Sylvester Stallone part that he goes on.
The Maria Menounos. So the first time was good. But, Adam beats a dead horse with his do it again.
Well, even a Sylvester Stallone. I've been listening to people do Sylvester Stallone impersonations since I was 8. So it's kind of done.
Fair enough. Very fair.
I mean, he has
do the voice of a dumb Italian. Okay.
Ben Shapiro. His Ben Shapiro is so funny.
Ben Shapiro is great. Even playing I'm just drawing a blank. Matt Fondelier.
Oh, good, Matt Fondelier.
Yeah, playing Adams.
Yeah,
that was hilarious.
Yeah, boss. Yeah.
Oh God, that was great, and the drops too.
I love it when he does Trump because just the outrageous shit he'd say about Ivanka or his daughter.
Oh yeah, and the Bill Maher,
yeah,
and the sarcastic. Okay, it's so just
Bill Maher, man. Anybody else like?
I used to love him.
I'm really sick of Adam like holding up Bill Maher as like this fucking voice of reason now.
Yeah,
like Bill Maher's been like super lib and like just creating this like just totally joining in on this society where like anything right of center is racist, and you might as well be in the Klan if you have any kind of conservative thoughts or whatever. And now all of a sudden, Bill Maher has realized that he's been on the wrong side for a long time. Now he's now he's a hero. I'm really like, I just like, Adam's got a huge blind spot there, and it's kind of crazy. Bill Maher,
if he gets one side, if he gets some of the conservatives, like, oh, cool, now they're watching.
Yeah, all of a sudden, Bill Maher's like, we should have free speech, and all dopey conservatives are just like, oh, Bill Maher's the best. Like, really? He's been fucking against everything you stand for a decade, 10, 15 years. Just mocking any non-progressive belief you might have. He's been mocking for a decade plus, and now he says now he got burned a little bit because of free speech, and now I'm sick of that shit. Same with Jon Stewart. Like when Jon Stewart comes out and says anything like remotely reasonable nowadays, it's like, oh, even Jon Stewart is it's whatever. Those guys they've been against you. They've been mocking you for decades now,
Well, like many of our favorite performers, I liked them in the earlier days. I liked Bill Maher back, Howard Stern earlier, and same can be said about Carolla when you really think about it, and who kind of changed. But
Carolla's been consistent. Guys like Jon Stewart, Bill Maher should be like talking about how Adam Carolla has been so consistent over time.
Well, yeah, he has. I take that back. Yeah.
Well, these comedians that kind of play both sides, it's financially smart, right? Because the conservatives get happy at some jokes, and then the liberals get happy at other jokes. Bill Burr, he has a new special live at Red Rocks, and he kind of gets.
Is it actually at live? Is he actually
Red Rocks?
Live at Red Rocks?
Red Rocks, Red Rocks.
But is he actually there?
I think so. Yeah.
He's in the parking
That'd be the
lot.
best.
He's not on the stage.
Because I saw that and I was like, I wonder if he's actually at Red Rocks, because that'd be the best. Because if I'm like, I just thought if I do anything, any album, even if I do like a CD, like a motivational CD about selling software.
Yeah.
Like selling software as a subscription. I'm gonna call it Chris live from Red Rocks. Just call it. Like I'm gonna record a comedy special for 45 minutes, like sitting here in my media room, but I'm gonna call it Live from Red Rocks.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna do next week Endless Ranters podcast live from Red Rocks.
Live from Red Rocks.
Yeah.
You just call it everything. Yeah. Just add
live from Red Rocks.
I wonder if that's illegal.
Yeah.
We could just broadcast. We could just put every podcast we do from now on is live from Red Rocks.
So last thing I'll say is I do want to take over for Dawson one day. Been practicing my intro and everything, because I know with all those cigarettes he's smoking, it's just a matter of time. So live from the Carolla One Studios. I've practiced it, but I'll have to do it on the next.
I'm
podcast.
sure you could fill in.
Yeah.
He needs a guest announcer. He was gone for a week. Did like locks.
Yeah, and then did Matt? Who did it? Who filled in?
Emmy.
Right? Did Emmy fill in for him?
For
I don't know. For introducing Adam because Dawson was gone, right? For a whole week, he was really gone.
Yeah,
Had the COVID?
No, I think he just had like gigs lined up. Like
he did have gigs. Yeah.
I see his posts all the time for his band.
By the way, before we're done for the night, so Jeff, he posted on the comments on our Facebook page. He said, "Here you go," and it's Kelly James. He was with Barry Zito. Yeah, Kelly James with Barry Zito, former Oakland A's.
I knew I was remembering that right. That's such a weird memory that he was on there. He was the star of that interview, but he came with someone else, like a baseball link.
What was
I
he
remember
doing
being
there?
confused, thinking, is this guy a baseball player? Like, that's weird to be a baseball player, and you're also like a freestyle rapper. Like,
I know, right?
Well, I'm a 3-time world executive chef, and also world-renowned DJ.
That's right,
and I'm a number one book on the New York Times book seller list as well. And you can buy my book now where finer books are sold. I said all that just so I could get to that point.
Exactly.
Yeah. Live from Red Rocks featuring DJ Ira.
Someone's probably already done this bit, but just call everything Live from Red Rocks.
Everything. Dave Matthews has used it.
Be like, that must be better. Like, I wanted to listen to your sales seminar, but I saw there was another one that said Live from Red Rocks. It's got to be so much better. So I'll listen to that one.
You got a background on Red Rocks. That's it.
Okay, I'm going to get that for next week.
Got to get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Live from Red Rocks. Yeah, I guess I'd like to see have you ever seen a concert there before?
Not me.
I have not. Unfortunately not. That's in Colorado,
I guess
right?
That'd be fun. I don't know what band I would pick though.
Is Red Rocks in? Yeah, I think.
Yeah, it's in Colorado.
I haven't spent much time.
Yeah,
there.
I think so.
Gotta be.
Mm-hmm.
There was an old. Now we're rambling, but there was an old U2 live video back when I was in high school, maybe, and it was live from Red Rocks. It was a VHS tape.
I think that they also released an EP with that title.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, yep, right.
Right. Now that you mention it,
yep.
Not much on U2. Tell you everything about everyone else. We'll save that for another podcast.
Yeah, I listened to U2 a lot in like the 80s, like really early albums.
Yeah, they were good. I like that stuff, but they morphed into something different over time.
Well, they got big. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we'll just about wind it down for Ira Part 2. Part 3 coming up in 2026.
Oh, I have so much more to tell. So many celebrities, sightings and meetings, and
store up all those stories.
You're gonna have an Instagram account by then.
Yeah, you got to help me get connected better. All I've got is Facebook, and you can find me there. I'm the only Ira Schwartz in Texas. I guarantee it. I've looked. There's only one.
That's true. Yeah.
The other one's an Asian woman, and that's not me. Today.
You've actually done. I know we're about to head out, but you've done a voice, right? You've been on Jaden's podcast, Time Travel Radio, a couple of times, right? You've done a character. Yeah. What is it? What's his name?
I was doing my mom, an impression of my mom, an old New York Jew.
Okay.
But it was from the Jerky Boys. It was a mix of. It's Saul Rosenberg. Hi.
Holy
God,
shit.
my bunions, they're growing, and I can't. Hello. Oh God.
Yeah.
It's a mixture of that and the deep one. It's give me a Pall Mall, honey, and shut up.
Okay, good.
Oh God. Give me another Pall Mall.
Don't get me started on the Jerky Boys. I remember listening to the Jerky Boys before they had like a DVD or a CD. It's like all bootlegs that you pass around between friends. Oh my God, that shit was hilarious.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
That's how I felt about Tenacious D when they started.
Saul Rosenberg. Oh, yeah, that.
Good stuff. And Jimmy, I think, and then there was some other.
There was another one. There was a really crazy prank call tape when I was in high school, and even then, it was a bootleg tape, and it must have been a few years old at the time. But the guy's name called himself Mark Knopfler. He's the lead singer guitarist of Dire Straits, but that's the name he used, Mark Knopfler.
That's a great. So
they'd be like, "Hello, who is it? This is Mark Knopfler." And he just, he did some pretty wicked prank calls to like a 10th grade Chris. It was pretty funny.
Oh, it's still funny to this day. Harry Seaward, come on, Corolla's
to me,
favorite.
Chris, today it's hilarious, but I probably wouldn't share it with friends and family as much as I used to back then, because it's
that's what's missing in your life. You need to share that side.
I'll see if I can find they're on there. It's been a few years since I looked, but every now and then I'll like search to see if I can find the recordings, and they're on there. They're out there on some weird websites.
I'd be curious to
find the original ones. Yeah. Pretty funny stuff. Anyway. All right, everybody. We've been winding down for the last half hour.
Yeah.
Manny, when he goes through this, is going to be like, and finger on the mouse.
Yeah.
But thanks, Ira. Really good to see you. Good to talk to you again, buddy.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
Robbie, are you gonna? Oh yeah, Robbie's gonna do the spots.
Yeah. Okay. Real quick. So Ira, your social media, you've only got a Facebook. You already plugged it, but how to find you? Ira Schwartz.
Yes. Yeah.
then-
I've got tons of videos of me playing out my garage on vinyl if you're interested to see,
Awesome.
and some mixes here and there.
And I'm not kidding. Maybe you can send a couple clips and we'll post them on the Facebook group and Instagram and all that stuff. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and let everybody know how to find us. For those of you who do the Instagram thing, find us at Endless Ranters Podcast, and it's at Endless Ranters Podcast. For those who want to check out our Twitter account, it is just at Endless Ranters, For those of you that want to just have conversations, share memes, and shoot the breeze throughout the week while you're supposed to be working, you want to join our Facebook group, just search the Endless Ranters Podcast. And then it's a private group, but if you send a request, we'll probably let you in. We just got to vet you, but we'll let you in. If you want to check out Chris on Twitter, his handle is at Grateful Red 1, at Grateful Red 1. It is RED, the number one word. If you want to check out Manny Moleman, he was not able to make it today. Like I said, I think he had like a taco like poisoning or something. You can search him on Instagram and on Twitter at.
I thought he had tickets to a show.
Yeah, I think so, like a movie or something.
Oh.
Yeah, like he lives in the near Hollywood.
He's Hollywood.
Yeah, he's he runs with that crowd. So
well, George Takai for you.
Yeah. Oh.
So my.
Check them out at How We Figure. If you want to check me out on all the socials, especially Instagram, I love the memes and all that stuff. Check me out. One word at Robbie Spotlight, at Robbie Spotlight. And it was fun having you, Ira. And check out our YouTube channel as well. Feel free to click subscribe. Like all the videos that you watch and comment. Helps us out because it gets the algorithm kind of going, and it gets the word out. You know what I mean? So go ahead and subscribe, like, and do all that good stuff.
I love algorithms.
Yeah,
I'm into those, really
I don't
into
even
those. It's what it's on my video. Nothing but that naked algorithms, left and right, at the zoo with ostriches. Woo!
Yeah.
All right. So Ira, thanks a lot. Thanks for joining us, man. It's always good to talk to you. You're a crazy cat.
Oh,
good to hear all your
camera
stories.
On? Oh, fuck. I thought this was audio. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, no. We've been watching the whole time.
Oh, fuck. Erase this. Oh, Jesus. I've been.
All right. Well, everybody, thanks a lot. Yeah. Subscribe, like, all that kind of stuff. Share with a friend or stranger, whatever. Send Ira good wishes. Ira, thanks, buddy.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, man. All right, buddy. Get it on.
Get it on.
Get it on.
Pew, pew, pew. Yeah.
That was Get It On. What did that sounded like? Get It On from like a TV show or something.
Who, mine?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. But if I don't pee, I'm gonna explode.
Well, I gotta go home.
Yeah, Robbie's got to eat his dinner now.
Yeah.
Cool. I got to take my kid's friend home. He's been dying for an hour.
All right, boys. It was good to see you all. Thanks, everybody, for listening, watching. Yeah, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, everybody.
Take care. Yeah, post on Gab.
Guys. Let's talk soon, Chris, man.
All right, buddy.
All right, guys.
Bye, guys.